Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we'll be dealing with uh, a scheme which was launched by one of the state governments of India. So today we'll be looking at the Women's Basic Income Scheme. So what is that? Let's get into that. The government of Tamil Nadu has launched Kalainar Magalir Urimai Togai Tirtam. Actually, it was launched to recognize the unpaid labor of women. The scheme on its part is aiming to provide rupees 1000 per month to women in eligible households. So, Tamil Nadu government has launched this for particularly for women. So, let's get into that. What are the causes for lower women participation in the labor force? Right. So, it's the first point we get into our mind is the patriarchal norms of the society. So it's been put into the society that men are bread earners while women are caregivers and homemakers. The traditional gender roles have often limited the woman's access to employment and educational opportunities. So next, coming on to the gender wage gap, actually, women in India often face gender wage gap compared to men for the same work. So, statistics from the World Inequality Report of 2022 says that men in India capture around 82% of the labor income while women earn just 18%. So, unpaid care work, this is also one of the important aspect. So, it shows that a married woman works in unpaid care and domestic work for around 7 hours a day, while men do the same work with less than 3 do the same work for less than 3 hours a day. This shows the difference of timing and which affects women to enter into the labor force. So let's also look into some of the statistics of unpaid work of women. So even though the enrollment of girls in class 10 has rose, the female labor force participation rate has come down from 30% to 24% over the past 2 decades. So, one more statistics which comes to the point is that women who are not in the labor force are spending most time on unpaid domestic work, which averages around 7.5 hours a day, while the employed women also follow them closely to around 5 hours, so around 6 hours a day on the same domestic work, which impacts the ability of women to engage in paid work. So this shows a major concern for women. So, what can higher participation of women labor can help in society? So, economic growth. This plays a major role when women comes into the play. So, because the participation of women is directly linked to the economic growth. So, it's because women labor force can contribute to higher gross domestic product, higher GDP, which can eventually bring in higher economic prosperity. So next, poverty reduction. So you might ask how it can reduce the poverty reduction. See, when women eventually have access to the income generating opportunities, it can lift many houses out of the poverty and increase their standards of living, which also increases the overall well being of the family. So, gender equality and empowerment. So, higher women participation in the labor force can challenge the traditional gender roles and norms, which can also promote the gender equality. So, eventually getting empowered. Fertility and the population growth. So, studies have shown that the women in the participation in labor force eventually leads to the decline in the fertility rate. This period is known as this phenomenon is known as the fertility transition, which shows that improved access to various aspects of society such as education, healthcare, bringing in a more sustainable growth. So next we go with reduction in gender-based violence. So when women are empowered, they can enhance their bargaining power, which can also play a major role in tackling the vulnerability of the gender-based violence. So let's list out the few government schemes related to women or empowerment. Schemes such as Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao scheme, Nirbhaya Fund, One Stop Center scheme. These schemes are few which have empowered, which are used to empower women, which are brought by government to empower women. Now let's look at the way forward, what we can do in future. So, promoting and supporting labor force participation of women does not only speak about various gender equality or any one aspect of in a society. It acts in the growth of the entire society, bringing in inclusive growth, economic growth, bringing in equity in the communities, so which shows that women in the labor force will help the India and the society of India to grow at much faster rate. So hope you guys understood the today's topic. Kindly do share and subscribe the channel, and we'll see you tomorrow.